The xenobiology lecture hall buzzed with nervous chittering as Instructor Vexthan wheeled in 3 containment units. Each transparent chamber held what appeared to be dormant creatures, their forms curled into tight balls of iridescent scales and retracted claws. The Galactic Academy's mixed-species classroom fell into an uneasy silence as the various alien cadets recognized the unmistakable markings of Cytherian hunting beasts, apex predators from the death world of Kither Prime. Today we study behavioral adaptation in juvenile apex predators, Vexthan announced, his forearms gesturing toward the containers. These cubs are 3 months old, barely past infancy for their species, yet already capable of taking down prey twice their size. Cadet Zilnara, a crystalline selenite, vibrated with fear-frequency harmonics. Instructor, shouldn't we maintain proper containment protocols? These creatures are classified as Class 9 hostiles. Nonsense, Vexthan replied, his mandibles clicking in amusement. They're cubs, harmless. He moved to release the containment seals. In the back row, human cadet Marcus Chen looked up from his datapad with mild interest. While his classmates began shifting toward the exits, Marcus simply leaned back in his chair, watching the proceedings with the same casual attention he'd give to a nature documentary. The first cub emerged from its container with fluid grace, its 6 legs carrying its leopard-sized form as it sniffed the air. Its reptilian head swiveled, scanning the room with predatory intelligence far beyond its apparent age. The second and third cubs followed, immediately flanking their sibling in a coordinated hunting formation that made several cadets whimper. Observe their pack behavior, Vexthan continued, seemingly oblivious to the terror radiating from his students. Even at this age, they demonstrate sophisticated. The instructor's words died as all 3 cubs simultaneously turned their attention toward the back of the classroom. Their sensory tendrils, designed to detect fear pheromones and elevated heart rates, twitched as they processed the emotional emanations of 47 different species, 46 of which were broadcasting pure terror. The cubs padded down the aisle, ignoring the Trilaxian cadet who'd fainted, stepping over the puddle left by a frightened Aquarian, and weaving between the trembling forms of creatures from dozens of worlds. Their destination was singular and unmistakable, the only being in the room whose cardiovascular system maintained a steady, relaxed rhythm. Marcus looked down as the first cub approached his desk. Its scales had shifted from warning crimson to a curious blue-green, and its retracted claw suggested playfulness rather than aggression. The human reached out slowly, letting the creature sniff his hand before gently scratching behind what he assumed were its auditory organs. The cub's purr, a sound previously unknown to galactic xenobiologists, rumbled through the lecture hall. Fascinating, Marcus murmured as the second cub climbed onto his lap with surprising gentleness. You're just big cats, aren't you? The third cub had somehow managed to position itself on Marcus's shoulders, wrapping around his neck like a scaly 6-legged scarf. Its tail, tipped with what databases classified as neurotoxin-delivering barbs, swished contentedly as it nuzzled against the human's ear. Instructor Vexthan stood frozen, his forearms trembling. In 3 decades of teaching xenobiology, he'd never witnessed Cytherian predators display such behavior. The creatures were legendary for their hostility, their inability to be domesticated, their instinctive drive to hunt and kill. Yet here they were, contentedly arranging themselves around a human like oversized house pets. Cadet Chen, Vexthan managed, please don't move. Marcus looked up from the datapad he'd somehow continued reading despite his new companions. Why? They're friendly. He gestured toward his classmates, most of whom were pressed against the walls in various states of panic, though I think everyone else might want to sit down. You're making them nervous with all that fear. Making them nervous? Squeaked Cadet Plixtor from behind an overturned desk. The human nodded seriously. Predators can sense fear. It makes them think there's danger nearby. Right now you're all screaming threat, threat in chemical signals, so they're on alert. He scratched the first cub under its chin, eliciting another purr. But since I'm not afraid, they know I'm safe, which means the area around me is safe. But you're a prey species, Vexthon whispered. Humans are classified as omnivorous gatherers with minimal predatory adaptations. Marcus looked up with genuine confusion. Prey species? Instructor, where exactly do you think humans come from? The question hung in the air as Vexthon accessed his teaching files. Earth, Sol system, single star, stable orbit, temperate climate zones, abundant water, diverse biosphere. His mandibles began clicking rapidly as he dove deeper into the files most instructors never bothered to read completely. Gravity, 1.2 times galactic standard. Atmospheric pressure, dense. Geological activity, extreme. Weather patterns, catastrophic. Extinction events, multiple surviving species, highly adaptive. Native sentient species, persistence hunters. Persistence hunters. Oh, Vexthon breathed. Oh no. Marcus continued petting the cubs, which had now begun grooming each other in a display of pack bonding. We spent 200,000 years chasing down megafauna on a world where everything was trying to kill us. We didn't develop claws or fangs because we didn't need them. We just ran our prey to death over days or weeks. We're pursuit predators, instructor. We're what nightmares run from when they can't run anymore. The largest cub looked up at Marcus, with what could only be described as adoration in its multifaceted eyes. To the Catherian cubs, the human wasn't prey at all. He was an apex predator playing with his food. The question, Marcus said gently, scratching all three cubs with practiced ease, is whether you want to explain to their parents why their babies are in a room full of frightened herbivores, or if you want to reschedule this demonstration. Instructor Vexthon looked around at his cowering students, then at the human who sat calmly reading while three of the galaxy's most feared predators competed for his attention like puppies seeking affection. Class dismissed, he announced weakly. As the other cadets filed out in various states of shock, Marcus remained seated, now completely surrounded by purring Catherian cubs who had apparently decided he was their new favorite person. After all, it took one apex predator to recognize another, even if one of them walked on two legs and conquered worlds with persistence instead of claws.